Hello everybody, hope you're all well. We're still here in the middle of a dreadful drought, but we're putting up with it as best we can. Now, a short video today. As you all know, if you had watched my previous videos, the Big P plate is now on. And while we were in Newcastle, and I met Sandra, who did the test with me, and I was a little bit envious of Sandra's reverse gear change setup. As most of you may or may not know, the reverse is way up here, and I just found it a little bit too far away, and I'm really not strong enough to pull it back with my foot. Or there is another way I have since learned, but I don't think I can use that way either. And Sandra had a reverse setup from Sling Mods in the US, and I didn't want to pay the price.
Hang on, what's this?
Oh, it's Baxter. He wants to get in. He wants to be in on it. He really doesn't like being anywhere without us, do you, matey? No, you don't. I think close to 200 US, and then I would have had to pay postage. So Tom is an inventor, and he invents things. Anyway, Tom said I could make one of those, as he does with many things. So he did, and I'm very, very happy with it. And I wanted the pool ball because it was yellow, but we found used one online. I couldn't find any at any op shops, thinking that it was this yellow, but it's a little bit more orange. But anyway, paid for it, and it's come from Tasmania, so we have used it, and it's perfect for me. The ones from Sling Mods admittedly come up higher, but I'm roughly 5'6" or 168 centimetres. I have shrunk a little bit actually, and it's very easy for me to use, much easier than going down there in a car park. So there we go. Now Tom is going to explain what he did for those that are handy or interested in making one for themselves. Say bye-bye, Baxter. And we'll hand you over to Tom in a sec.
All right, we're testing Baxter in the bag. Let's see how he goes. Look at that reverse function.
Very easy, very good gear. You've done a good job.
I've got the microphone, they can't hear you. There he goes. Baxter the Ryker dog.
No helmet because I wasn't on the road. I'm not being unsafe.
Okay, welcome back everybody. I've taken over the camera to show you a few bits and pieces here to how to access this gear lever reverse selector. Now, this front cover, there's two screws underneath. one each side here under the radiator. These little tall T27 screws, one under there, one under there. You undo them, and this plastic just clips off. You pull down toward the sort of the front and down, and you'll see these plastic clips clip in behind here and here, and you just have to get that out of the way a little bit like that. And then in here, I know I'm upside down, I'm sorry. This plastic clip is in that little hole there. You remove that plastic clip, and then if you come to the side of the bike, plastic clip here, and a plastic clip underneath there. And to get those clips out, you use a tool like this that you can get on eBay for next to nothing. And I'll probably try to put the camera on my head so you can see how these work, so I need two hands. Basically, that's all it is as far as tools go to get access. Now, I'll change you over to my head. Hang on a sec. All right, guys, these are these plastic clips. There's one up here. This is the one you want to loosen up to access this one. There's one here, one here. 3 clips only. Now these clips, when they're together, they're like that, and they're pushed in. You get one of these gizmos, you get under there, you pull that out, and then this is then free to come out. So once this little unit comes out, nothing holding the plastic in place. To get this piece off here to access the rail, you bend this plastic a bit. Now it's pretty pliable. Hang on, that's clipped in there. You pull that out like that, bang, she's off. So it's clipped here and there. This clips around there. That comes off. It gives you access to this frame rail. This is a round tube, it's 32 millimeters. To make this gear lever up, so here's your reverse lever. That's factory fitted reverse lever that you can use with your foot or hand, whichever. Sling mods make one of these, like Wendy said. Got to get posted from the States. I thought, how hard can it be? It turns out it wasn't hard. This is a piece of stainless steel strap which I had sitting around. You probably don't, but look, if you've got anyone that's a bit handy, got a workshop, got a friend, a neighbour, it doesn't have to be stainless. I just chose stainless because it's not going to rust. You could use steel, galvanised steel strap. It's used in building a lot. It's available, and you only need a tiny piece. If you can chase a gal strip up, that's okay as well, but I use stainless because I had it floating around in the shed. I found a socket, or find anything round the same size, actually a tiny bit smaller in my case, but find something round, bend that around something round, so it makes that shape. Just a socket usually will probably do the job. Bend it round it, and then these tangs come together. I drilled a hole through, put a bolt through. Then I found some round bar. It was a speed brace winder off a caravan leg. Cut it to make this distance shorter and just put the two together, so to get this shape. Drill a hole in the end, 6 millimeter, put a 6 millimeter bolt in here. That's the pivot point. That's all it is. And that seems to work. Bit of movement there, but it doesn't matter. I put a bit of tape around the tube so that stainless doesn't mark the paint. So make that up. These are rod ends that screw onto this booker rod or threaded rod. That's stainless steel threaded rod, which I also had floating around, but you can buy that at any bolt shop. And this ball end, it's usually a shiny metal, but I've painted it black. there's a little ball in there, so you've got a ball joint there, ball joint down there. In the end of the gear lever is a 6mm bolt. You unscrew that. I used a longer one. You screw that in, that holds that rod in. You work out the length of your rod, where you want your lever. You can have it further back, you can have it further forward, just put it wherever you want it. We chose here, or I did. The angle of this, or the height from this pivot point to here is important, because if I put this down lower, this lever has to move further to get that into reverse. I chose up here because it's a shorter throw and it doesn't come and foul with your legs when it's in reverse. So a piece of steel, it can be, doesn't have to be round, it could be square if that's what you can find, whatever you can find. A speed brace from a socket set can be cut and welded to make the shape you need. Just stuff that's lying around in your shed could do the job. So, threaded rod ends were $11.90 Australian for the two. I had the Booker rod, but if you had to buy it, it's another couple of dollars. This I had already in the shed, didn't have to buy it. We bought the ball, but you could use a golf ball, a couple of dollars, and you can get any colour you like. I think they come in pinks and reds and yellows and whatever. I actually had a golf ball on there at first, and then this arrived in the mail, we put that on. Just 6mm stainless steel bolts, 6mm stainless steel nuts. It's all stainless rod. The rod ends are coated, so they shouldn't rust quickly. And there's the gear lever. Cost me $30 at the most if I had to buy all the parts. So I had most of it. Except the rod ends were $11.90 Australian. The rest I already had. So if you've got a friend, you've got a neighbour with a bit of a workshop, I needed a welder, which I had, but if you can, find someone that can weld this to the shape you want it, or you can bend this to the shape you want it if you want to, you need a drill, a grinder probably. If you're going to weld it, you need a welder. If you're going to bend it, you just got to work out how to bend it. And, if you're a bit of a handy person, you know how to do that. And the rest is just a few spanners just to make things work. So the angle of this will depend on how much throw you want on this lever. If this hole was down here, that lever would come back a lot further because you need it to come the full travel of this reverse. Well, there you go. To get this cover back on, it's quite the opposite of taking it off. You put the front on first, there, and then the back just clips into place. There's the cover on. You put these back in under here, bang, and that's it. You put that back there. Push that part in, and then you put back in here, push that into place, put that plastic back into there, clip that back on, put your bonnet back on, job done. If you really want to get stuck into it, you can do it in half a day even, but I just potted around it. It's easy enough to do. All right, guys, leave something in the comments if you want to know more. I'll show you whatever I can. I'm not a mechanic or anything, but look, I know enough to get into trouble and not enough to get out of it. So, but if I can do this, anyone can. All right, guys, catch you on the next one.